Welcome back to Pop Flashback, everybody. I'm your host, Rick Smalls. Tina Boucher is out on assignment this week. You know how he is with those. Ellie Rass loves those little guys. Anyway, more pop culture goodness for you and me. Today we're going to be looking into something you see all the time at the movies now, especially those superhero flicks. I'm talking about post-credit scenes, those little nuggets that keep you glued to your seat, even after the movie's technically over. But you ever stop to think where this whole thing got started? I mean, it's become such a staple in Hollywood now. Someone had to do it first, right? Well, the origin story of the post-credit scene is a little wilder than you might think. The first major motion picture to use a post-credit scene wasn't some brooding Batman or a wisecracked in Deadpool. Now picture this. Instead of some ominous foreshadowing or a surprise cameo, you got Dean Martin's rotating sofa surrounded by beautiful women. That's how the Silencers decided to play it. It was a total send-up of those serious buttoned-up spy movies like James Bond. But here's where it gets interesting. The Silencers wasn't just going for cheap laughs. This seemingly silly scene was actually a clever commentary on the spy genre itself. Think about it. Those Bond movies were all about style, intrigue, and saving the world. But the Silencers, with its tongue firmly in cheek, used that post-credit scene to poke fun at the whole formula. It was a wink to the audience, a way of saying, hey, we know this is all a bit ridiculous, but let's have some fun with it. And you know what it worked? The Silencers was a hit. And that post-credit scene, as goofy as it was, started to seep into the collective consciousness of moviegoers. It's like planting a seed, right? You might not see the sprout right away, but something's happening beneath the surface. And in the years that followed the Silencers, that seed started to grow. More and more filmmakers started experimenting with post-credit scenes, adding their own twists and turns to this newfound storytelling tool. It's funny to think that something as seemingly trivial as a post-credit scene could have such a lasting impact on how movies are made and experienced. But that's the beauty of pop culture, isn't it? Sometimes the most unexpected things can end up changing the game entirely. We'll be back in a flash to explore how the post-credit scene went from a comedic afterthought to a full-blown phenomenon. But in the meantime, I want to hear from you. What do you think was going through people's minds when they saw that first post-credit scene in The Silencers? Drop your theories in the comments below. We'll be right back after this. Hangry.
Hangry. Totally. And we're looking at their online shop today, and it's pretty wild. Got like everything you could think of, from t-shirts and sweatshirts to candles and stickers, and they've got, all this stuff with this really fun, like, food-themed kind of spin on it.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they've taken what's a pretty negative emotion and spun it to be something.
To be something good.
Yeah, like something relatable and fun.
We're back and ready to keep going on this journey through the evolution of the post-credit scene we've established now. That The Silencers, with Dean Martin's charming antics, was the unlikely pioneer of this whole cinematic trend. But it wasn't an overnight takeover, It took a while for other filmmakers to really catch on and make this little bonus something that audiences came to expect. For a while, post-credit scenes, they stayed mostly in the realm of comedy. Think about some of the classic comedies from the late 70s and 80s. Movies like Airplane or Ferris Bueller's Day Off, even the Muppet Movie. They all had these little post-credit nuggets that were basically bonus jokes, a way to send you out of the theater with one last chuckle. And it wasn't just about the laughs. These scenes often broke the fourth wall, Characters winking at the camera, acknowledging they're in a movie, maybe even talking directly to you in the audience. It was this playful meta way to mess with the whole movie-watching experience. But here's the thing. As more and more filmmakers started using post-credit scenes, they started to realize there was potential for something more. It wasn't just about tacking on a few extra laughs. These little scenes could actually be used to tell a bigger story. Take young Sherlock Holmes from 1985, for example. Now, this movie wasn't a comedy. It was a mystery clincher. And they used their post-credit scene to drop a massive plot twist, a revelation that would have a huge impact on any potential sequels. This was a real game changer. Suddenly, filmmakers realized that post-credit scenes could be used to plant seeds for future stories, create suspense, and leave audiences hungry for more. And once that door was opened, there was no going back. The post-credit scene was evolving from a fun little extra into a powerful storytelling tool. And then, of course, the superhero movies came along and, well, the rest. Marvel especially took this concept and turned it into an art form. Their post-credit scenes aren't just throwaway gags. They're like mini cliffhangers, tiny pieces of a much larger puzzle. They use them to introduce new characters, tease upcoming storylines, and connect their entire cinematic universe in ways you wouldn't believe. They've figured out how to keep audiences buzzing and speculating, long after they've left the theater. And it all goes back to that simple idea. That started with Dean Martin and a sprinting sofa. From a cheeky joke to a vital part of some of the biggest franchises in movie history. The post-credit scene has come a long way, and it makes you wonder, where will it go from here? What new tricks will filmmakers come up with to surprise and delight us? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. That little scene after the credits has become a force to be reckoned with in the world of movies. So tell me, what are some of the favorite post-credit scenes? What makes them stand out? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. And as always, thanks for listening. Remember to like and subscribe so you can get our next episode. Smalls out.